All right. Recording is in progress. So welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm Toye Johnson-VINCENT, your no sugarcoating coach. This particular, I do not call this a meeting. Yes, it's on Zoom. It's a conversation. I'd prefer to have a conversation than to be stuck in a meeting, if you will. And I'm sure most of you may agree. Again, I'm Toye, or Coach Toye as they call me, and the no sugarcoating coach. That's the AKA part of my name. Just a little bit about my background. I would say even some of you know who I am, but you be so amazed when you really think you know somebody and you really don't know a whole lot about them. You think you do, but you don't know everything. And you should know what matters. And I guess what matters to me is that I do, come with my authentic self with whatever I do or involved in. And I want to make sure that I am, assisting people or helping them navigate both their career and or their life skills journey. So that is really my quest. That is what I, strive to do in a positive way. So, and the reality is my background is really, I'm from New York. So, hey, William.
Hi, New York.
Yep. And but also when she returns to her seat, we have another New Yorker in the house. Raise your hand. Is Shirley, New Yorker right there? I believe Staten Island.
Brooklyn, Staten Island, Queens.
Okay.
Yeah, I made that little circle.
Okay, all of that, and you'll be able to introduce yourself. And so I was saying, really, I'm a native New Yorker, born in Queens, raised in Brooklyn, so I represent both. My father's family is Jamaica, Queens. So I have that flavor as well. And, for the most part, in terms of speaking or bringing people together, I found that I had a niche to bring people together on every level you can imagine, and then some. And then I realized, oh, wait a minute. Oh, I can make money doing that. So, whatever you do in your life, it may not be all about money and dollars and cents, obviously, but, it certainly helps. Anybody agree with that one? Uh-oh, there's a hand raised. Anybody agree with money? It's certainly good to make it if you can, right? No matter.
I agree 100%. I'm 100% in agreement.
Yes, yeah. And so the deal is coming out of Brooklyn, I just, a part of the that story was being involved in a singing group and my teenage years, quadraphonics, shout out to them, whoever might be around. And then, moving on from there, just finding myself on stages through college, doing that, the poetry and all of those things, and studying communications in Boston at Northeastern University in Boston. So shout out to my Massachusetts neighbors. Appreciate you. Kelsha B is coming in. We get people coming in, and people will trickle in between 7 and 7:15. It always happens like that. But anyway, I just wanted to say, so what would make me want to do Zooms and present to people and be a motivational speaker? Well, I come from a family of educators. And they basically, and my mom is deceased now, but I do hail from a family of educators / trainers. So I really believe that it's in my blood to bring it to the table, on some level. Basically, teach what I know or educate what I know. And I found myself fast forward into, graduating from Northeastern University in Boston, which there's a huge co-op program. I don't know if anybody's familiar with Northeastern, but I know, Dr. Lattimore would be, because she's a New Englander. But the reality is, that really fueled the fire. And when I think about what could I do, a lot of us now, this is a career development, personal growth and development conversation. That's what it really is about tonight, and about your resilience levels. What is your resilience level? You have to think about it. You have to want it. You have to know it. And when you know better, you do better. So that's essentially how I kind of just live my life or lead my life as well. And I like to help people be successful. And I tell people already, you're already successful. Before you come to me or seek me out as a coach or as a speaker, my thought is you are already successful, but sometimes we all could use a little bit of help or nudge in the right direction to just be able to excel even more. So with that said, that's a little bit more about me and why I do what I do. But I love to say, why do I love what I do? Because I want to hear from you all and what your thought is, because we have so many things going on in the world right now, whether it's job loss, furloughed, fired, whatever it may be, and or family life. There's maybe a sick family member, things going on, you know, COVID, pre-COVID, after COVID, it's still COVID, whatever, that's driving us bananas. And sometimes you get stuck. You were doing well, and then COVID hit, and now you're not, maybe not doing so well. So my thought was, why not have a conversation? Everybody's doing it. The last but not least, if you see my banner behind me, yeah, my title is speaker, my title is certified life coach, but my title now is also a podcast host. So I'm always trying to build and bring people together, network, and I like to hear and help. And not only that, but anybody on the panel, and you are on a panel, whether you believe you are or not, you really are. You know, bring your thoughts and maybe you'll help somebody. If it's one person tonight that networks with another person after this broadcast, that is a conversation of value. Conversations of value. No more, we can chit chat all day, but what are we really talking about, right? So that's kind of what my thought is when I pulled this together. The first one was last month. I'd like to do them once a month. And I invite, my platform primarily for invites started with LinkedIn and sort of spilled into a little bit on Facebook, but most of you know, my invites are coming from the LinkedIn platform. So with that said, I want to actually turn it over who the most important people are, and that is you all who are the guests tonight. You accepted the invite, and again, I appreciate that. So can we just do a round table just to see who's in the house so far? And if people come in and out, I'm fine with that. It's a conversation, and I'm going to throw out about three different subjects, and then you know, we can just kind of talk about that, and maybe you know, it might help somebody tonight. And leave your comment or leave your information if you want to connect well after this broadcast is over. So far, anybody have any questions for me? Anything about my background you want to ask? You were afraid to ask me on LinkedIn. No, I'm kidding. Anybody have any questions for me before I turn it over to you? Anybody? Wanda, you still there? Kelsha?
Wanda's still here, yes.
Okay. Anybody have any questions, or who wants to go first? If no one has any questions for me.
It's not a question, just a comment. You know, you've been a part of Dress for Success for quite a number of years, and as the program coordinator for their employment readiness programs, you have added a lot of value to the program over the years, and you were there with us this morning during class, and I think the ladies really enjoyed having you and listening to you, and they gleaned a lot of information for what you had to share, and I'm sure you walked away realizing that, but I just wanted to share that with you, let you know that you were so appreciated this morning.
Oh, thank you so much. Well, you know, you know how they used to say, who's shouting out from the peanut gallery? I am so happy. I'm so happy that you decided to join, because I know you've had a busy day, but I'm going to let you, since you did start out with that. And yes, it's true. This is my second speaking appointment today. We normally speakers, we say engagement because I love to have an engaging conversation. But yeah, I started off at Dress for Success, and I've been doing that since 2011. And I'd love to hear anybody else, if you've been volunteering somewhere and you need help, or they could use somebody with somebody on this panel's background. I know we probably have somebody in data analytics on here as well, and hopefully more people will join. So with that said, Shirley Bailey, go ahead. I'm going to turn over the floor to you because I've asked Shirley to join me tonight, actually as a speaker, one of a featured speaker, and she says, "What are you talking about? You just asked me 10 minutes ago. I just saw you in the morning. What are you talking about tonight?" and this gives a meaning to say, you know something, we need to stop trying to get ready. We just have to be ready. Okay. So the reality is that's the truth. We have to be prepared for anything, right? Someone shows up and says, hey, family member's not feeling well today. Maybe you have to stop your job, stop you in your tracks to go help that family member, right? Or who knows, maybe something happened to your computer and you're like, well, I need an alternative. What will I do? Anything throughout the day regarding your career, something like that. So Shirley, please tell everybody, start who you are, where you're from, all of that kind of stuff, hail from, and how can, you know, about, if you please tell us about your organization, and perhaps are you looking for people that may be able to volunteer or lend their hand, if you will.
Absolutely. Thank you for the opportunity. And absolutely, rather than, if we stay ready, we won't have to be ready. We won't have to get ready, right? So that's one of the things that I tell others, but I need to really make that a part of my mantra. I actually hail from New York City, but originally born in Panama, Central America, raised in New York, and then went from Brooklyn to Queens to Staten Island. And when I left Staten Island, I landed in Tampa, Florida. And so I've been in Florida now for over 20 years, or just about 20 years, I believe. Left Tampa just quite recently, the end of the year last year. I left Tampa and moved further south to Southeast Florida. And let me just put this out there. If you, you know, Toye talked about if anybody wants to come to Georgia, the weather is fine. Southeast Florida is not a place that I would recommend that you come to, at least not the area where I am. It's exceptionally hot. And I really don't care for it here much, but that's okay. That's a whole nother story. So what I do is I work for a bank, two banks actually, in various different positions in finance. And then at the end of my career there, I started volunteering, and volunteering is a great way to find your next job or your next, whatever it is, your next level. So I started volunteering for Dress for Success, an organization, nonprofit for women. And what they're very well known for is giving clothes to women that are seeking employment. But then at some point they realized a new suit of clothing is not going to be enough. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to add on layers and make this a complete, the word escapes me right now, but we want to make it cohesive, and we want to make it so that women will have more than just a suit of clothing. So we started the Employment Readiness program. The one that we have right now that's running is the Moving Forward program. And I was the coordinator for that for several years. And I've now trained someone else to do that position, but I'm still there, as you saw, Toye, because I want to make sure that the program moves on in a positive way. I don't want it to fall apart. It's a great program. And what we do is we teach employability skills in terms of things like we do workshops, and we bring in speakers to teach different topics. We also get volunteers to help with resumes and cover letters, and also with interviewing. Now, understanding that in the process of doing all of that, our clientele tends to be ladies that they come to us because on their own, they cannot do it. Or at least they think they cannot do it. These are women that some of them may be living in shelters, you know, they're maybe in an abusive situation, they had to leave home and go into a shelter. So a lot of the women that we deal with are women in crisis. So that's what makes the program especially special to me. It does something for me as well. You know, I'm giving back, but I'm gaining a lot just by being there.
Just by being there.
Yeah, exactly. Just
yeah.
by being a part of.
Can anyone have heard of Dress for Success? It's amazing when you find out what people do on a daily basis. Like you talk to somebody, it's like, oh yeah, I know that person, or I met him on LinkedIn, but you sort of almost don't really know what they do, and they have amazing backgrounds. And anybody's heard about Dress for Success on here?
Definitely have. They're in the same building that I'm in. Toye, I think you might have come by and saw that building in the center of Boston on BU's campus.
That's
And
right.
they do excellent work. I work as a nurse practitioner, a sexual assault nurse examiner for Suffolk County in Boston, and they have helped me, even though I see kids, I see pediatrics, but they have helped me clothe some children that have come into to see me for examinations. And we had one little girl come in a Johnny once, and I just won't forget her, because even though their clothes are geared towards an older female, and some men, I think they clothe, they found something for this little girl, and she was just so happy, and they gave her a little purse and like jewelry, and it was the best thing for her after what she had been through. And then they helped me with teenagers that come in, and always there, always ready to serve. So I appreciate the Boston office quite a bit.
Wow.
Help us.
And yeah, that's amazing, because and you guys probably heard me earlier, and I call her by her nickname, but tonight, because she's in a professional,
by my nickname.
She's in a professional setting, I'm gonna go with doctor, because every time I hear that, it actually inspires me to gain that reign, and I'm working on that. It's a slow, I'm a little turtle on this end, but that's why I was saying that to Wanda, who said earlier, she's always going, hey, Dr. Toye, Dr. I said, in a minute, not yet, but I wanted to congratulate you, because first of all, you are now Dr. Lattimore, and you're doing things awesome. It's amazing when you're talking about working with children in any capacity as a career, because we're all on here. We understand this is a career development conversation. And sometimes people work in, in a career that you might say, anybody else on this panel might say, oh no, there's no way I could ever work in that environment. So, and we never hear from people who are doing it and who have been doing it long, a length of time, such as yourself. So that is amazing. And, really, blessings to the children that you have helped over the years get through such a high level, stressful, traumatic experience. And that's the way we'll classify it. And of course, Dr. Lattimore, because of what she does, panel, she would not be able to disclose much of anything else, but the fact that this is what she does. She's out of the Boston or Massachusetts area. And again, if for some reason, if anybody wants to connect, you can leave your information in the chat, or really follow up on LinkedIn. So if there's a question, or you're even thinking about going into that field, which was what we were going to address tonight, about career transition, even no matter what age you are, because when I'm looking at what age I am, which is 21, I'm I'm thinking about retiring and not fully ready. And which there lies the finance part, again, not fully ready. So that's why I said it's great to know what people's background are and who have stayed in a career for a lengthy amount of time. And when I say that, I mean, sometimes it's, well over 10 years, could be 20 years or what have you, and then going up through the ranks. So even yourself, Shirley Bailey, who mentioned she's been in with Dress for Success. How many years?
7 years now.
7 years? Okay.
Yes.
And then I just came, I was there before you were, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I was there.
I met you there.
Right. And I'm a volunteer, folks. I'm a volunteer, 2011. So that's good. And I want to ask, does anybody have any questions for Dr. Lattimore in terms of if anybody was thinking about career transition at all anything like that? Anybody?
Actually, Dr. Lattimore could probably be one of our volunteers and come and talk to our ladies about career transitions.
Yeah, I do a lot of I do that in colleges and high schools, and especially in the area that I'm living now, because they want to see people of color in certain vocations, and they ask always, for people to come out and speak. So come September, I'll be speaking. I'm in New Hampshire speaking to the, kids up here that don't have the opportunity to see that there are people of color in just about every job, that you can imagine. And we want to encourage that. So, once you're set in your career, it's hard to change, once you're 40, 50, most people don't want to change. But the young folks, it's good to kind of grab them and let them know that they can do whatever it is that they want to do and have people look
Absolutely.
like them that are doing it. So,
Absolutely, yes.
Wow.
So yeah, I will definitely be getting your information to invite you to be one of our speakers.
And Shirley, if you want to put the Dress for Success
In the
in the chat or something where, yeah. And everybody, if my head is down or going to the right, I'm working off of my larger monitor so that I put my website in the chat in case anybody out there says they have something coming up. And I'm not doing a whole lot in person. In fact, I'm really ready to do so. Just kind of after the COVID thing or right in the middle of it, whatever we are in. But just make sure you shout out to me if you are looking for a speaker or a coach. And I do like to work with youth as well. And when I say that, don't mistake by what I mean by youth in terms of the high schoolers for the most part. The middle school is fine, but I think my presentations or my topics, and I believe we do have an educator on the line, Wanda Dorsey. Wanda, can you hear me?
Yes.
So if they're ever looking for speakers, and I'm not sure if you're elementary or middle school, but for the most part, I have it's a company called Nepris, Nepris. And this year I've done a couple of presentations where I'm talking and the classroom can see me, through Zoom and different platforms. So I put that out on LinkedIn as well. And most people think I only coach adults, etc. But every now and again, when I get an opportunity to talk to the youth, that's really important because everyone on here has a gift. And has that knowledge where you can share it. So that's awesome. I really like hearing.
Oh, thank you. I'm to the table.
So who do we have? We have somebody. I can hear your audio, but I don't see you. Okay, is that Larry? Somebody else is connected. Somebody has an area code 516. Somebody wants to say something. I can hear something. Anybody?
Hi, can you hear me?
Hi, who's in 516?
This is Regis.
Oh, hello,
This is
Regis. Okay.
Hi, how you doing?
All right. Well, yeah, we can see a symbol of a phone. We don't see your face or anything.
That's right, because I'm on the phone. I'm not on the Zoom.
I got you. Okay, excellent. We're doing a roundtable right now. And I believe Larry LaBelle, which may be out of Tampa. Is that right?
That's correct.
Yes, I remember. And specifically, it's been so many
Oh my
years,
gosh.
but I remember meeting you. And I can't believe it. You do a lot of training and coaching and everything. And you probably see my name on LinkedIn, pretty active. So this is amazing because I was in Tampa for about 15 years.
Wow.
Before coming to Georgia. So don't forget about me, Larry. I still, on the speaker circuit and everything if you need,
Awesome.
Hello, Larry. This is Shirley Bailey, Dress for Success. Don't know if you remember me, but we
I
had
certainly do. How are you?
good. I am well. Good to see you. What a
Likewise.
surprise.
Wow. You never know who you might see or meet. So and as I said, I will do a screenshot and it is being recorded as well. So, you know, so if there's somebody on here, you say, oh my goodness, I didn't want them to see me. Well, it's too late for that. No. It's too late. Okay. We heard from Shirley Bailey, and we heard from Dr. Lattimore. Larry, you're just coming in. I believe, is it Angela? Angela, who has a business in North Carolina. We can't see you, but I see your picture. Is that you, Angela?
Hello, everyone. How y'all doing? I had surgery, so
Oh.
I am not showing myself.
We
That's all
understand.
right.
We understand.
We understand.
Okay, because I'm a little vain about not, you know, with my hair and all that good stuff, but I had a shoulder surgery, so I'm not able to do my hair. So therefore, that's why I put up that my nice little background picture.
Well, it's beautiful. You're beautiful, and don't worry about it. You know,
Yes.
This is what I love. You showed up. Thank you.
Yes.
And so before Angela, I'm gonna come right back to you, Angela, because we do have a doctor in the house, and we have a nurse / the doctor PhD. We got it all in here tonight. So anybody have any tips on the shoulder? Put it in the comments. Put it in the chat. Okay. Because we have Dr. Lattimore on the screen. All right, so Eric, Mr. Eric, we're gonna go to you. Eric shares my last name. Don't put 2 and 2 together. Wink, wink. Hey, Eric.
Yeah, hi. Yeah, my name is Eric Vincent. I'm a senior EDI engineer. For those of you who don't know what EDI is, it's electronic data interchange. It's a computer-to-computer transmission of data. I've been doing this for some time, and I started my career in Boston as well, doing anything data.
In Boston? Did you say?
Boston, that's correct.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you to speak up a little louder, Eric. You're going in and out. Is it at the loudest you can go?
Yeah, I started my career in Boston, you know, doing data. You know, I was a data analyst back then, and from Boston, I moved to Florida. From Florida, we moved to Georgia.
Wow.
So I'm a senior EDI developer. I love technology. Most of my career has been behind the scene, where, you know, not because I want to be behind the scene, but it's just the way it was. We process information. For example, if you join a company and you want to get ID cards, you know, for your family, medical, dental, vision. So we process those information behind the scene and send it to the carriers, like a MetLife or Signal. So we do that behind the scenes. So that's why I've been behind the scene. So I decided to, you know, join. I love data, I love IT, and I love sports. So, yeah.
Wait a minute, before you stop you right there, because we have New England in the house. We have New England Patriots and Celtics
I'm a
in the
Yankee
house.
fan.
There's one.
Yankees.
No,
Really?
all the way Boston. Sorry.
William, did you say you're a New Yorker, but did you just say Celtics and
No, William said I'm a Yankee fan. Not a Mets fan, Yankee fan.
Yankee fan? Okay,
Yeah.
I like Brooklyn Nets because I'm just, you know, raised in Brooklyn. I don't know.
Yeah,
But
they're
that's
newcomers.
about it. But anyway, back to the electronic data engineer person over there. So yeah, so basically you're behind the scenes. That's what you're saying when we go to enroll in our benefits, right?
Right, exactly. So I love to talk about technology. Anything technology, I'm always excited. And I decided to, you know, join the Zoom meeting today. I joined the one last month, and because I want to be visible now than before. So that's one of the reasons why I'm here. And you know, if anybody have any questions, let me know.
Yeah, well, people always have a question if you're saying data. We want to know how to protect our data. And if people are transitioning from the other, you know, career backgrounds into, you know, IT. And a lot of times for me as a non-IT technical person, You know, if I wanted to go into that field, because tonight is career development, personal growth and development, you know, there's some things, what could anybody on this panel do? Speaking of, anybody on here interested in getting into IT, or they're already there? Anybody?
Actually, not personal, but I do have two ladies that are in class right now that's what their interest is. So,
So what they need to do, first of all, is follow. There's always a network or whatever, you know, industry or whatever they want to get into. So follow the industry, follow, you know, if they have like a group, follow the groups, attend the groups, and look it up too on YouTube. Everything that you want to talk about is on YouTube, you know.
Very true.
Programming is on YouTube. You want networking is on YouTube. So, you know, so I go there all the time myself, you know, just to see what they're doing. Yeah, you have variety of people, variety of programs on YouTube. They can learn from there as well. So but, you know, the best thing is to follow the groups so that they know you have to network and you have to be visible as well.
Right.
Not
right.
You know, so that's a start. That's the way to start.
And they can volunteer too, I think. But what you're saying too, a lot of people, because I remember you saying what you did, and I was kind of like, well, I wasn't sure when people say EDI and you say electronic data interchange. And so for people who are in one industry and they're saying, well, I just want to do anything in IT, I think people don't understand. There's so many levels of IT. You know, this is a real job. You know, people, you never think about it, but you get your benefits all of the time. But someone like Eric, he's the one that's, you know, manipulating and doing all kinds of things with the data behind the scenes, open enrollment that you say, oh, at the first, you know, none of us really like to do it, right? That open enrollment thing.
That's correct. You know, at the end of the year, you have to roll over to the new year and get a new ID card.
Okay.
So we process all the information behind the scene, secure those information, and send it to the carriers.
Okay, the carriers. Gotcha. Well, thanks for explaining that. So if we learned something about EDI tonight, in short, electronic data interchange, but you're also basically a data engineer. And most of us can engineer our career, but we also have sometimes a tough time engineering our life, right? For personal growth and development. That's why we're it's like apples and oranges. But I always say, if this, and I said it earlier in a different setting, I said, if there's something going on in your personal life that's not doing that well, you can almost say it spills over into your career. So if you're distracted, if you're not getting the success that you want, or maybe you're close to retirement, I put that out there on the post when I was talking about this Zoom tonight. Some people are ready to retire, but they haven't prepared. And so I probably can throw myself right into that, because if I were really thinking clearly, half of the jobs that I had earlier in my 20s and my 30s, I would never have quit those jobs. I probably would have sat there until somebody said, hello, Miss, you know, or one or two things was going to happen. They were going to give you the box, and you know what that box is when HR walks down the hall or they come to you. And somebody either that, and you thought you were doing a great job all of this time, and all of a sudden this box, and they say, or someone says, meet me in HR in about 10 minutes. So thank you so much, Eric, for chiming in. The Celtics and the New England, and Dr. Lattimore is ecstatic about that. So okay.
So you just start trouble, but you know, yeah, we are the best team. Even though Tom Brady left our Patriots, I already have tickets for the games when they start.
Oh,
you know,
my
football is my thing, so I'm already set. But don't start trouble. You know, we have that. And, you know, that New York Boston thing, and New Yorkers, I know they feel sad because they're not as good as we are. But,
oh, now wait, hold up, back it up a minute.
They're not. I'm sorry, Miss Shirley.
Well, wait a minute, Shirley, but she'll still she'll still look into the
Oh,
volunteer.
absolutely. Yes,
so-
yes.
Of
Larry,
course, you can't help it. You and William can't help it.
Larry, I'm gonna go with, can we go with William, you're next up, and then we're gonna get between I think it was Wanda and Larry. I said I'm getting back to Angela. Angela, are you okay? Because if your shoulder is hurting or anything, we can get you on right now. You ready? Is she there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, Angela, are you okay with your shoulder? Can you hang in for a second? We're just still
No, because I got to get back on this polar ice machine.
Oh, okay. Really quickly. Oh my goodness. We're learning a lot about you. Okay, can you just tell people where you're at and what your business is? Because you are a business owner, and people may, if I don't know if anybody can type it in the chat for you, or you already did. Okay,
Yeah.
Angela Mosley,
Yep.
CEO, founder of Miss TJ Sauce. You guys, if you want to order from her, just go ahead and say anything going on that people should know, and if they're interested in being an entrepreneur, really quickly.
Well, yes, thank you so much, Mr. Coach Toye.
Thank you.
My name is Angela Mosley. Miss TJ Sauce is named after my sons, Tyson and Jaden.
Mhm.
They're my why. In September, I have been in business for 7 years.
Wow.
Currently, I just acquired another hotel. The first hotel that is selling my sauce is the AC Hotel Marriott in Durham, North Carolina. And today, I have got news that I got a second one, and we're going to partner. And it is the AC Hotel in downtown Raleigh on Glenwood Avenue. And so starting in August, they're going to be selling my sauce there as well. So I'm just excited. And then they put me, I think I'm the first Black woman that was on a menu that the AC Hotel featured my sauce by creating a slider and featuring my sauce, Miss Kickin'. I have three sauces, well, 4, Miss Sweet and Sassy, Miss Kickin', Miss TJ Vegan, and today I created Kick the Sass, and that's a combination of Miss Sweet and Sassy and Miss Kickin' together.
Wow.
What type of sauce is it? I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. It is an all-purpose sauce, but it's a mayonnaise-based sauce. It looks like yum yum sauce,
Okay.
but it's not. So think, and the base of it is Old Bay, right? And so you think about how the crabs, that sauce we used to make with our crabs, for those that make a sauce or use a butter sauce, but it started off that way. And I kind of just put my own little different spin on it. And it's just went, I'm from Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. put me on the map from WHUR to Fox 5, being on the radio. And it's just been a blessing. It's been a blessing. So I relocated to Raleigh, North Carolina. August will be 3 years. And, we'd had to deal with COVID. So as an entrepreneur, I have to say this. Being an entrepreneur, you're going to have the ups and downs and the peaks and valleys, and life happens. And when life happens, such as myself, I had a stroke in 2019. I still got back up. I still pushed because I want to win.
All right.
That's pretty good.
Wow. Wow. And
That's amazing.
Thank you for sharing that, because even she's sharing her personal story. You had a stroke. I had known a lot of her backstory. By the way, Angela has placed her information in the chat. So again, feel free to look at it if you can and jot it down. This is being recorded. I will be doing a screenshot. So I love all your beautiful smiles. I'm going to ask you to do that in about 2 seconds. Miss TJ Sauce, LLC. She's based out of North Carolina, but that sauce can travel anywhere.
Yes, ma'am.
And in terms of entrepreneurship, there are many of us who are stuck, and I don't want to say stuck, but sometimes you do feel stuck a lot of times when you say, well, I'm doing the traditional 9 to 5 because that's the way, I was raised. Just do it, retire, and you're good. But
Right.
now there's so much, we have so much access. Different generations have so much more access to do what they love, not just going to work every single day from 9 to 5 and saying, okay, I'm done. What am I going to do on Saturday? So I kind of really like the entrepreneurship spin on, and I really thank you, Angela. And we hope that you're going to get better with your shoulder. Maybe you'll come back in August and tell us a little bit more about the new sauce.
Yeah, and then look, and hopefully I'll be able to say that I will finally leave Duke University. I know that's bad to say, but it is so hard being an entrepreneur, working in an environment where you just want to fly and spread your wings and be all over the world.
Okay.
So yeah, I hope to say in August that I'm gonna be full-time, Miss TJ, right?
Well,
And if not, we're just gonna keep pushing until I get that opportunity to do that. So thank you so much, everyone. I wish everyone much success in everything that you do, and plenty blessings upon all all
yes.
Thank you, and congratulations.
Congratulations. And everybody's saying, so what can they need to contact you through that? You have a phone number there and you have your website. If they want to order online, that's simply, they can do that easily with you, or?
Yes, they can.
Okay,
And they can
okay.
also, but listen, the easiest part, even if you don't get the website, always Google, type Miss TJ Sauce, and you can go look at the Facebook information. You can see all the different foods that the sauce goes on. You can see me cooking, all of that. So please follow Instagram, please follow Facebook. I'm on every platform.
And we're glad you're on this platform tonight. So how about that? Thank you so much. I'm just going to give you a round of applause. You did a whole lot since last month. So yeah, take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. Right. Go take care of that shoulder. And soon as you said shoulder, it's raining like I don't know what here. All of a sudden my shoulder's hurting. Must be something. It's crazy. But anyway, thank you very much and have a great evening. We appreciate your chiming in and giving us some tips about maybe transitioning from 9 to 5 to entrepreneurship. I'm going to go ahead now and move on. It's William and it's Larry and Wanda, who have been on here for a while. And then we have people who are on audio. I see your numbers. I just don't see you. William, go forward.
Well, a gracious good afternoon, good evening, rather. My name is William Lake, of course, and I'm a New Yorker via Curacao in the Dutch Caribbean. And I'm here in New York. I'm older than all of you, I guess. I am the one who's retiring. So that puts me, I'm your senior, so that comes with some benefits, I presume. Mr. Vincent, you mentioned you are involved with EDI.
Yes.
Distinguished pleasure of meeting a gentleman many years ago by the name of Ross Perot.
Okay, yeah, I can hear you.
Yes, yes. As a matter of fact, I worked for the brokerage firm that gave him $125 million one summer afternoon to increase his stake within EDI back then.
Okay.
He wanted to change his address to 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, but that didn't work out too well for him. Well, other than that, he's a great guy. My area is finance, bachelor's degree in accounting and a master's in finance, MBA in finance. And that's what landed me with companies such as American Express, Arrow Electronics, and Payne Weber. Payne Weber, of course, is where a lot of the deal making was being done at that time. In New York, we do say money never sleeps. So we don't sleep here. We just take a nap and get up and continue what we call the art of the deal. We raise capital for small companies, for medium-sized companies, and so some gigantic ones at that. I guess I should stop there and ask if there's any questions about the area of finance.
Well, so what's going on with finance right now? I mean, if we're thinking about it in terms of some people on here may be even considering retiring. And are you more, do you find yourself, are you more of the financial advisor? And if someone says, hey, my career is at a standstill, maybe I just want to make something extra or go into trying to, and they're great with accounting and everything. Is that something that people kind of do these days? I mean, I'm just trying to figure out if someone wanted to do a career transition like really, really quickly, and you know, is that possible?
Well, that is possible still. This is the land of opportunity still. And what's happening though, is you come to a guy like me, if you decide I want to buy the company that I work for, I want to buy part of it, or if you want to buy the competitors out. The lady that was with the sauces, if she wants to export us into, let's say, country X. However, the quickest way to do that is to buy someone in that market and expand her company her through that market. Those are the people we like to talk to.
Okay, okay. And then when you think about, if you're saying at least you are currently retired, but you are still working somewhat in the capacity of finance?
Yes, I am. And the way that is working out now, I am kind of sort of retired. I have a business that is not related to anything else I've done. We're in the gravel business. We make gravel for cement companies and railroads, and you know, we our products and loads and whatnot. We're based out in Pittsburgh. The business is based in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I think, if not the largest minorities in the field, we're close to the top of being the largest minorities in that field. So we are there, and you know, so that was keeping me from playing golf.
Well, you know, there's a lot of people who are here in the Southeast, and where there's, you know, the weather's a lot different, so they can play golf in and out from work, you know, especially if you're working remote. And for those employers and HR people, folks with my background, and you might say, well, I thought you were working remotely, but you're really out there playing golf. So I'm sure there's some truth to that as well. But we thank William. Anybody have any question for William? Anybody ever thought about working in the field of finance or something like that? Anybody?
A question about the stock market. I don't know, William, if that's in your if you know anything about that, but I know with the recent climate that, you know, stocks went way down, and I was afraid to, I have Fidelity investments for my retirement along with a pension, but I was afraid to check and see where I am right now. And I want to know if we're coming back up or what's happening with the stock market.
Okay, now one thing I'm going to tell you, one is, you're with Fidelity, they are among the best. That's number one. Number two, the market goes up and down. In the long run, you're better off in the market. You make more money in the market than you do in your savings account or any other form of accounts. So you're seeing happening now, they're very temporary, and temporary being a year or two, keeping in mind you're in the market for the long haul. And you mentioned earlier you just turned 19, so you've got a way to go before retirement. I would stick with the market.
Wow. Well, William, will you look, if you talk any longer, you're going to have to invoice Dr. Lattimore, huh? like a true New Yorker that you are. We don't do anything for free.
Well, one of the things, Dr. Lattimore, New Yorkers are fine people.
I know that.
If they try to sell you a bridge going to Brooklyn, you might want to question that. But other than that, we're nice people.
Oh yeah, of course you are.
Okay. Thank you, William. Anybody else before I move on to the next person? Anybody else have a question for William? Ever thought about it, or going into finance, or maybe you worked in finance before and you actually transitioned into something else? Anybody on the call? No? All right. So next up is it wait a minute. It's Wanda? Oh wait, it's Larry. Let me get you, because for that coaching thing, I know what your background and everything. And then I'm going to spill into Wanda, and she has an educational background in the school system, in case anybody's looking to do something there for personal growth, professional growth, etc. Larry, introduce yourselves. What do you do, and how can you help at least one person on this call tonight?
My name's Larry LaBelle. I run a business called Win a Job Fast.
And basically, I'm a master resume writer, and I also provide training and coaching on all aspects of the job search process to help people get a job fast. I've been doing this for 22 years. I love what I do. My favorite thing to hear is, I got a job from somebody. There's also, you're talking about, sometimes when people want to change careers, there's just so much that can be done. The federal government has what they call workforce development centers all over the country. They're usually branded like here in Tampa, it's called Career Source Tampa Bay. But they have a program called WIOA, W-I-O-A,
Yes.
where you can get $10,000 worth of retraining funds. So if you're trying to make a career change, that's $10,000 is a lot of money you can put to it.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And the way I help people otherwise, in my past, I used to be an instructional designer and a trainer, and I still help people who want to get certified in that area.
Well, you have been, we know you've been in the business, your name is out there, you're always on LinkedIn. I know that. And I remember, I believe, I'm not sure though, if I met you through Dress for Success. I believe I met you well before that I got involved with Dress for Success 2011, because I was in the Tampa Bay area in 03, from 03. And
You
remember,
might have been there, because that was about that time, wasn't it, Shirley?
yes,
Yes, it was.
Yeah, I was there at those meetings and different things. So, with the Career Source and they changed their name. It used to be something else, and then Employ Florida and all that other stuff. But, and I have to tell you, when I moved, a lot of people, a little backstory with that too, is that I was actually unemployed when I relocated.
Oh, wow.
Okay? Unemployed and relocated anyway. So what does that tell you? I'm a risk
You're
taker.
courageous.
Yeah, absolutely.
I had no job, but as an HR person, technically, we can get employed, I guess, if we really want to get, as a contractor, and I had been doing that. So I was on a roll, and I just took my money and said, bye-bye Boston, and just got out of the cold weather. That was really the fuel that got me. It was just the ice storm and everything else. But nobody told me to go down in Larry's territory in Tampa Bay in Florida, that I had to deal with the alligators and everything else. So, I mean, who knew? So, stay up in Massachusetts and get the frostbitten, or go down to Florida and get alligator bitten. Either way, I learned my lesson. It was great. And I do remember that's a great organization, but you have to learn how people to navigate these organizations. I don't know if anybody else just feels like, if you're in a job search right now, people say, like the housing market, well, just wait a minute and it'll change. Right? Like New England weather, we used to say, wait a minute, it'll change. Well, I don't know. I don't know how long we can wait for the change, but my question to Larry is, what's going on now? Are you finding more people, whether you're, in a Generation X or, middle age or what have you, are people really moving around? Are people trying to transition right now? Because you coach people on that, do you not?
Yep. Yes, I do.
Yeah, what's happening?
Sometimes there are people from all ages that are changing constantly. They're either changing or they're thinking of changing.
Okay.
And it's one of the other things I didn't mention to you is I work with a number of groups around the nation that are job search support groups. And if people are looking for help in their area, there's just an amazing wealth of groups out there that are just incredible in terms of what they provide and the support and so forth. That, if they ever want to give me a call, I'll point them to the right place.
And you said something about win a resume. You mentioned, I know you have something in the chat, but you said something about wow resume or win a job.
I'm a master resume writer, and my job is to write you a resume that's going to get you an interview. Period.
Period. So what
Coach
is the number?
How to win the interview?
What is the number one reason? I mean, is there some difference? I know for obvious reasons, because my background was HR, but what can we do now? Things have really changed drastically. I mean, you're getting interviews over Zoom. I mean, people are not doing the same thing they were doing, in past years. And so people may fail at getting an interview via Zoom because it's not in person. They're a little bit more uncomfortable. And then, and I'll just give, and this is something that happened to someone that I know I was coaching. They accepted an interview through Zoom, etc. And they had the resume. Obviously, the person can see them. And then they says, well, guess what? Now you're not going to be on camera. I mean, none of us are going to be on camera. So, and they have the person's resume. And then they were like a little perplexed about that. But
Yep.
I coached them anyway to say, you know what? It doesn't matter what type of interview. You just need to be prepared, look into the camera and go with it. Okay.
You said the most important thing. Most people are not prepared. They have not taken like a set of 20 questions, common questions, written out their answers. If you don't prepare, you're going to fail in an interview, period.
Wow. For those who may be transitioning, they're maybe middle-aged, right? And they say, well, I'm not prepared for retirement. Maybe they're well into their 50s, this early 60s, and they're saying, you know, my grandfather said, okay, he was going to retire at 65. Well, that was then. Okay. Now more of us are staying in the workforce well into our 70s. Any tips? Can you give maybe 2 or 3 tips before we move on to the next speaker or you know, panelist about what can they do? What should they look out for? What would be helpful at this point? Maybe just 2 is fine. Whatever you got.
Probably the most important thing to me is know what it is you want. If you don't have any idea what kind of a job you want, how do you prepare for it? How can you get help? No one knows. That's one of the most common problems we face. And the other ones, as I mentioned, lack of preparation, whether it's writing a resume or practicing for interviews, the lack of preparation is really will hurt you.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Those are 2 points that we really push in our employment readiness program. And what I'm finding is that most of the ladies that we see, they do not have a clue what they want to do next. They don't know what jobs they're looking for, and that is really what's hurting them more than anything else. Because how can we prepare you if you don't know if we don't know what you're preparing for? You know, you just want a job in IT, or you just want a job doing anything. You just need a paycheck. Well, we can't help you to find just anything. There is a bridge job that'll take you to your dream job, but in the process of that, you still have to have an idea of what it is that you want to do, you know, and then we can work with you from there. We can build those skills from there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And one thing I want to say about Larry is definitely a person that is excellent at resume writing, and he is amazing with the interviewing tips that he shares. We've worked together before with the ladies at Dress for Success, and he was really instrumental in many of the ladies actually getting the interview and then getting through that interview into a position. So thank you again for that, Larry.
Oh, you're welcome. It's been a delight working with you, Shirley. You're always great.
Thank you.
Well, I thank you, Larry, for sharing that, because like I said, you've been around the block. You know what you're doing. If people know your name, and once somebody just said, oh, Larry LaBelle, yeah, oh yeah, just like me. I met you probably somewhere between 2003 and 2004. If in that range. And you're on a Zoom today. Go figure. I haven't laid eyes on the man in all this time. But at any rate, that I thank you so much. So if anybody's out there, you're thinking about, especially if you are somewhat of middle age or you're just sort of starting out, because sometimes you know, there's a lot of things on resumes, people get it twisted. They're not sure how much should I put on there. I worked 30 years, I worked 20 years somewhere. And now, you know, they want this 10-page resume that no one will read. So, you know, for personal growth and development, as well as career development, you need to tie your information in on the resume or qualifications of summary or qualification, something like that. But that's your world. I work in HR with my background, but the worst thing for me was trying to even figure out my own resume. So Larry, I might be putting my name in the chat. So if you see Coach Toye, the no sugarcoating coach looking for.
Got it.
Do you offer any complimentary, if anybody on here who wants to just more privately connect with you, do you offer a complimentary or 30 minutes, something that you sit down and
Yep.
talk? You do?
Yep.
Okay, all right.
I will offer the minimal 30 minutes, and
Yeah.
if I get into it, I'll give them more. One thing
Okay,
I wanted to mention that's really important for people who don't know what they want to do next. There's a great book, which is called What Color is Your Parachute for Teens? Like teenagers, but it's not just for teens. It's all about figuring out what you want to do next and getting there.
okay.
Great book.
Excellent, excellent.
And
And
that,
another plug for Larry Toye is that I've taken his class. He had a workshop that he was doing. I think we were 3 days together, I think it was. Excellent work, excellent work. And then you get your resume redone, you get some interview tips and all of that. So if you're thinking about it, you're on the right track with him.
there we go.
Thanks, Lily.
Well, now everybody knows that, remember Larry's name. How about that? Just like they had the Cheers bar in Boston, everybody knows your name.
Any relation to Patty?
Yep. William
Patty
has a
LaBelle.
question?
No, just asking any relations to Patty LaBelle.
Oh,
Aha. Yes. Well, I
Sometimes
hope so,
okay.
because if he's gonna bring that sweet potato pie and everything.
There you go.
Larry may put himself on mute and go get one of those pies or something that he has. Bell on it. Yeah. But but I appreciate that. That was a good one, William. See, that's what the New York, we have a sense of humor that I often love. And I want to go to the next person. Is Wanda, are you still there? Because we have Kelsha, who's after you. Wanda?
Yes, I'm here.
Tell us who you are. I know you've been waiting and waiting, but we have just been dialoguing all. Hello, Miss Business Lady. She is a businesswoman, entrepreneur, from what I understand, but her primary job in the day is an educator in the school system in Atlanta, the greater Atlanta area. And so can you tell people a little bit about yourself and how you can tie it in, or how people can tie in what they're doing in the day, and then perhaps go entrepreneurship, and were there any struggles for you?
I mean, in relation to what?
In relation to struggles in relation to starting a business, or just continue?
Oh, yeah. So hello, everyone. My name is Wanda Dorsey. I've been an educator in the public school system this is going on my 23rd year, predominantly in middle school. Currently, I teach 8th grade history. I also am a personal tutor, so I work with the organization. I volunteer with an organization called Helping Hands, and we actually provide services for school. Right now, our school is doing right now the organization is doing a back to school community service project where we're partnering with different schools in the area for book bag giveaways, food. So we have a food pantry, education, and I think I want to say they do help with people that are in prison, but I can't remember that part. But I work with educational part, and we offer tutoring to students in elementary up through high school. Right now, because of the pandemic, our tutoring has been primarily virtual, but it is free of charge to anyone who would like to get their children free tutoring. I also am yes, it's free. Maybe just set up appointment with the tutors and go at your own time. I also am an independent consultant for paparazzi accessories. So I have a home-based business. And if you said that was a struggle, yes, of course, because I totally started on ground zero, where some people kind of had a background in business. I've been learning as I go. This is my 5th year in business. So trying to balance that with, being an educator among everything else. That's the challenge. Trying to find your niche, trying to make sure that you are doing what fits you and your lifestyle, because there's so many consultants just like you have Mary Kay and Avon, there are so many independent jury consultants on the rise. So you have to figure out a way to maneuver all of that. But so far it's been good. It's been a great situation for me. Like, for example, I don't know if you remember Coach Toye. I met you when I was doing a vending event. Yeah. And from there, I've learned so much, been a part of your sessions about career development. I think you interviewed me. You gave me my first podcast interview. And that was really nice. And I was able to share that. So just being able to connect with you and network with others has been a really great experience for me. So hearing you guys and I'm gleaning from your knowledge has helped me a lot. So I think the best part for me is just connecting with different people from different walks of life. It's helped me a lot in my business and my growth and development.
Question for you as an entrepreneur and the jewelry and everything. And I just love jewelry anyway, but even, you know, in terms of because you said you did a lot on yourself or learn it as you go. Some people had things set up differently, right? But you kind of came into that business, which tells me you had to have had a business mindset from the very beginning. Are there any, because is it somewhat parallel to what you do in the daytime? You work with children, you do all of that in the education in that system, but how has that helped you, if at all, in your business in terms of the mindset?
Basically being a middle school teacher, you can't be a punk. Sorry for the slang, but it's putting it mildly.
We'll just mute her later. Really tough. You are being recorded. Just
that part out. But basically, it's tough. You're dealing with different personalities, and our classroom can be as large as 35 to 36 students at one time for one teacher. And so you're dealing with people from different walks of life who have different values, different from mine. You know, and then now since the pandemic, cell phones have been an issue for years, but since the post-pandemic, it's been a major issue trying to compete with a cell phone. So we've had to adjust through those and, you know, maneuver through that situation. And of course, as people, I went to a training one time and this guy was like, teaching is the most thankless job ever. And I felt really some kind of way about that. But then I thought about it, it's true. We have to deal with the admin demands, parent demands, students demand from our colleagues. Because, you know, sometimes I've been a teacher leader in the past. So you have to kind of balance all of that, you know, with your own home life and personal life. So, and add a business to that and everything else I do. So yeah, I like it. I like staying busy. Yeah, I really do. Summer is like a treasure for us. Like I'm on summer break right now. So I'm able to attend these sessions, which has been really good. But I mean, I like it. I've been able to connect with so many different people just by doing the business for paparazzi. Because when I go out in the field, I meet so many different people. And then from that, I get another, you know, event from that and from that. And so it just grows. And I've met people who were strangers who are now my friends. I do a live show, which I'm going to get off in a few minutes to do my live show on Facebook. And I'm on different platforms as well. And so from being on those platforms, and I had zero following. So consistency is key when you're an entrepreneur. And like the young lady said prior to me, it is an up and down situation. You have great times and you have low times, but just being consistent and not giving up in your business, that really helps because people will respond and respect you if you are consistent. If you're up and down, then they don't take you seriously and they may not support your business. But I found that people will support if you stay with it, have a stick with the attitude. They will kind of stick with you too.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you for sharing that, because a lot of times when we're thinking about, when you're a business owner, you also can grow. People sometimes think, well, they have their own business, so they don't have to think anymore. They make all the money. They're wonderful. They're great as an entrepreneur. And people never realize, some of the pitfalls of being a business owner. And especially like what you're doing, it's independent. So if you don't do the work and if you don't put the work in, then nothing is going to flourish. And so it does take consistency, and sometimes we can get towards retirement and then we just stop thinking. we don't want to think anymore. We don't want to do anything else, which doesn't, you know what I mean? And so that's where, you know, we can run into that rut. But I think that right now it's hard to find people who are, and then of course there's always an age thing, because we know that depending on where we are in our lives and everything, there's at some point we just say, no, I'm fine. I worked all of this. I'm ready to retire and I want to relax and enjoy my kids or my grandkids. And that's beautiful. Take vacations, sit on it, you know, get my Mai Tais going, and I'm good. You know, and so, but I guess whatever you're doing, I say just do it well, and you're doing it with you know, that positive attitude, you know. Is there, and I'm gonna ask you a question because I know you have to go on your live, and I do want to take the picture when everybody's bright smile. What, if anything, would you change anything? For some of us sitting here, we're thinking, yep, I've done that, I've done this. Well, maybe I should have done that. Maybe we're second guessing our careers, our personal growth and development. Is there anything you would change?
Yeah, like I think everything. I've had some hard times in education, and what I probably quit like 10 times. Once I wouldn't say 10, maybe 5 times in my mind. But I actually love working with children. I love seeing them grow. I love seeing them, you know, mature over time. And I have some of my students that I'm still connected with, who've gone on to school and have careers. One of my students is on the verge of getting her doctorate. You know, they have, you know, jobs. They are in college. A gift for me, seeing them actually get it and go mature and do great things. I think that's been my reward. So, I mean, it's been hard, but I actually love what I do. But I'm close to retirement. I have, if I can make it, 5 more years, I'm good. If not,
Excellent, excellent. Well, we have someone who, of course, I don't know if you remember, Dr. Lattimore is still on as well. And so she worked with children, but in an entirely different capacity. But, you know, because the school system, a lot of things go on in the school system, which may bring them in front of Dr. Lattimore as well. So you're probably familiar with a lot of that stuff. But did you have any questions for Dr. Lattimore? Anything you can think of, Ms. Wanda?
Not at this time, but I'm enjoying the discussion. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
And before she leaves, may I just give you a word of encouragement, Wanda? You know, you said someone told you that teaching is a thankless job, but just listening to what you just had to say, and my feeling about teaching is that when you teach somebody something, that's something that cannot be taken away from them. And you're teaching and molding our future leaders, basically. And because you have a love for it and you stick with it, I think what you're doing is not necessarily going to be, you're not going to get it back in finances, but you're going to get it back in so much more than that. So your job may seem like it's thankless, but as those kids grow up, they will remember what you have imparted into them. And though it may seem thankless right now, your thank yous are in the future. All right. And also keep in mind, it's the greatest gift that you can give somebody is the gift of knowledge.
Wow.
Awesome.
Wow.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Yes. And I'll remember that too. I got, you know what? I need a bigger writing pad because I'm. If one more person.
Look, I got mine too. We're note takers.
I love
Wanda,
that.
this is Larry.
Everybody has their writing pads. I mean, you know, go ahead.
Wanda, this is Larry. Just
Hi.
wanted to remind you something. Watch your students grow and know that you played a huge part in it.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes, absolutely. And by the way, is anybody interested in getting, you know, purchasing jewelry from Wanda? Make sure that you connect with her. You're on Facebook, but you're also on LinkedIn. People can reach you as Wanda Dorsey. I don't remember. I know that we have all kind of AKAs out there. I'm not sure, but
I don't know if I my name on LinkedIn. It may be still. I got married last year, so it may be still Riley. I'm not sure, but I think it's Dorsey. I can't remember if I changed it in LinkedIn or not. I'm not on there a lot.
Oh,
Are you in the chat right now? Did you put your information in the chat?
In the chat.
Okay, I can type it.
Yeah. And then they can look at that and rewrite it on the pad or whatever, but you do the paparazzi. And my understanding, the jewelry, and it's a excellent deal, you know, $5 on a lot of stuff.
Yes.
A lot of stuff, and it's beautiful, beautiful jewelry. So thank you so much. I want you to just, everybody, can you just give me a big smile, because I'm going to go ahead and do that screenshot that I promised you I would have done a while ago. And for those who are not have their not on the video, I'll get you. Okay. We'll know that you're just not on the picture, but feel free to let me know if you want. All right, we ready? On 3, we're gonna go money. I don't know, whatever you want to say. Here we go. All right. Okay. All right, I pressed the button like 3 times. I always wonder, and then when I get out of this Zoom and see what happens. Thank you so much, Wanda. I know you're on Facebook tonight at 8:30.
Yes, yes.
All right, because we're going to be wrapping up soon. Let's go. We have 2 more. Thank you, Wanda. Appreciate you. If you can hang out with us until you go, or whatever, it's up to you. You might learn something else from somebody. Okay, we haven't heard from, I got people on the phone. I believe it's Kelsha. Yeah, Kelsha. Kelsha, you still there? Audio?
Yes, I'm here.
How are you?
I'm doing well.
I believe I remember that name.
Yes, I am currently a participant in the Dress for Success Moving Forward program.
Okay. Yes.
Yes, and I just wanted to listen in. I am currently thinking of a career change, of course, and not quite sure for certain where I want to be. So I am one of those individuals where it's kind of up in the air, but I've been with hands-on patient care for over 20 years, and I'm thinking I want to move to like maybe insurance or in the background, you know, the office assistant or something of that nature.
Okay, but you still want to stay within the medical field or allied health? You still, meaning?
Yes, I'm thinking either medical or customer service of some sort. I've taken several customer service certification courses. One as recent as in the month of May. And then now I'm enrolled in the Moving Forward program with the Dress for Success. So just looking for continuing education opportunities, and then trying to figure out where I want to go.
Well, you're in the right place. First of all, you're currently working as tell me, is it patient advocate?
The title is in-home support. So basically I am currently teaching individuals with various forms of developmental disabilities, basic living skills, teach them how to cook, personal hygiene care, keeping up with their housing, and all of that stuff. Okay.
Can I ask Dr. Lattimore, can you address Kelsha's, just anywhere, what can she do? Any tips for her? I mean, I know in the medical field and all, just she's kind of want to transition a little bit anyway.
Well, I'm a big proponent of anything in the medical field, any kind of nursing assistant, LPN. I started off as a medical assistant and just kept going because I like the hands-on, I like the teaching, which is what you do now. I'm not more of the administrative type, but I want to be right there with the kids, as I still am, and serving those people. So anything in the medical field is fine. And then if you're moving away, but you still want that like customer service touch, like right now I'm thinking when I finish, you know, nursing, when I retire, I'm thinking about real estate, you know, maybe selling some real estate, like just doing something totally different than what I'm doing now. So, you know, the job market is open. Everything is out there for us, and for whatever you want to choose, you know, just go for it. Just give it your all and go for it. We've seen people here that started businesses. So just whatever, just go for it.
Absolutely. Kelsha, what do you think?
I did think of moving on to nursing school at one point. However, due to some physical limitations at the moment, yeah, like I had to like completely reroute everything that I thought about doing. So now I'm thinking something, in the long term where, God forbids, if I'm disabled, I can continue to work.
Yeah, yes. But I guess, anybody on the panel that intrigue you, or something that any one of us have said thus far, because we've had a data analyst here. Clearly we have someone representing nonprofit, but who also happen to have a background in finance or credit repair. I myself, HR. So is there anything that, have you ever thought about any of these other fields of people who are on the panel and the Zoom tonight, having a conversation? That's what it's all about. Have you thought of any of those industries, HR, anything like that?
I thought about HR. Yes, very much thought about HR. I see myself. I mean, I've done some form of like office assistant, and currently I volunteer with my church, basically kind of in like the treasury department. So, part of the outreach department, just dealing with individuals that might be on drugs or homeless or whatever the case is. So I definitely, get some form of customer service in. Yes.
Well, it seems like you have a huge background, number one. The first thing is, I tell everybody, if I'm coaching them, and it doesn't matter to me where you are in your career, I say, first of all, and you saw us all throw up the pads. Most of us, we do this, right? Even if you're jotting down just a couple of thoughts when it comes to your mind. And what I would say, and again, you may have heard me because I did the Dress for Success class today, but you need to categorize, at least draw the line on the paper. What am I good at? What am I great at? What am I good at? What am I great at? What do I like to do? But what do I really love to do? And the most important thing is, what would I do? This is the question. What would I be doing if I weren't making money at it? What would I do, whether they paid me or not? And when you get right down to it, because most of us, we think about money, dollars and cents. We never really, we only equate everything in success to money, money, money. But we have people who have talked here tonight who are working with children who cannot and never really was able to help themselves, but somebody is doing that work and helping those children. Somebody's working in the school system, helping them develop. And so there's a lot of things where you need to write it down, and then you can say, okay, that's good. This is what I like, and this is what I really love to do. That's where the key is. And honestly, the only person for the most part that will know that for sure is you. So you start, even if you're starting, on a small scale, to say, let me take what my skills are, my current skills, and working my way towards developing those even higher, at a higher level, and use them as transferable skills. You got me?
Yes.
So when you do that, because sometimes we're thinking of the big picture, we never really focus on the smaller picture. We're only thinking about, it's so large, but things are so large, you can't get your arms around it, let alone your brain around it. And that's what happens. And then we give up. We want to give up. We say, oh, we failed. I'm a failure. You're not a failure. You are a thinker. But I'm saying, when someone asked you, if someone asked you, what do you do for work? What would you say?
I change the lives of individuals that have developmental delays.
Excellent. And that was well defined. That was well defined. Anybody agree? She's well defined. Right, because some people say, well, I do this, I do that, but I really do that, and sometimes I do that, and this and that and the other, and even as an individual, you get your own self confused. But I like your answer. So you have a well-defined answer, and that is your key. When you say that, and then you can, even if you had to Google it, because Google becomes everybody's friend on here. We have to Google thing. If you're working in IT, like, you know, what Eric said, he works in IT, EDI. Me personally, I didn't know what it was, but then he explained it to me behind the scenes. And now I get it, because when you think of IT, you don't, your first thing comes to your mind is not electronic data interchange, but think about the data, right? What do we all use every day? Data.
Yes.
What are we all trying to make sure that our accounts are up to date, right? We're all trying to do that. So with you, and when you say, first of all, we need to stop saying, I don't know what I want to do, because technically you really do know what you want to do. And many times fear stops you from focusing on the real matter at hand. So we're going to get away from that. That's just a little bit of tips for tonight. But clearly, you know, this is wonderful. I never knew multiple people with backgrounds in medical or allied health, nursing, etc., would actually even be on this panel tonight. So I'm really, really pleased by that, especially when you're working with all different ages and particularly children. So, but Kesha, do you have any questions for anybody on the panel before we're going to close shop tonight? Because we have been on here. I think people are getting probably saying, okay, that's it, I'm zoomed out. Any questions for anybody?
I thank everyone for sharing. I really appreciate this platform. It was very informative.
Excellent, excellent. Thank
One
you.
thing that might be useful to you, if you're considering a job change, there's a gentleman who's a friend of mine here. We went to high school together. His name is Gene Hodge. And his entire focus is helping people identify their skills and abilities, and out of those, what you enjoy doing. And that becomes the focus of your job search in your life. He's a master at it.
Larry, could you put his name in the chat?
Sure.
And his contact info?
Yes.
I hope everyone here knows how to save the chat. Toy, can you
Actually,
I've been copying and pasting and putting them in a note.
Okay, good. There's a way to save it. There's like a smiley face to the right of where it says to everybody or whatever. There are 3 dots at next step, smiley face. You click that 3 dots and it'll say save the chat. And if you click on that, it'll save it to your hard drive on your computer.
okay, because it just oh, okay, got it. Yeah.
See it? Okay.
Okay. And this is being recorded as well. So I'm going to get it out there. It'll probably upload, you know, as well to, I'm not sure on YouTube, but it's definitely got to go on LinkedIn. And I think it's important. I'm really happy that everybody took that time tonight to come out. I'm trying to do this once a month. If you know other people that in any kind of things, because I like to, even the next round, I like to focus a lot more on the personal growth and development that's inclusive of your career, because I think we got the career thing kind of down, but I think because between the COVID and how we're really feeling at home in the workspace and everything else, you know, some of that has to be addressed, because becomes emotional, psychological things, and without being a clinical psychologist, which I'm not, just coming from a standpoint of someone who is an extrovert and feel like I'm trapped at home because I like to speak on stages, you know, externally. So this is really big for me, but I'm, you know, really has been a difficult road for me over the past year to speak in this format. And I might add that it's not as lucrative as it probably should be, but the expectations is, well, you're at home and you can speak and we'll just pay you less. because you're not traveling, right? Okay, so if you walk into a hospital and they say, well, you got here by Uber, so what do you want from us? You didn't send the ambulance to me because I couldn't afford the ambulance, so I came by Uber or whatever car service. It doesn't matter, because we love Uber. So that's my point. Maybe I want to address some of that in August, and a lot of people who may have children or grandchildren that are headed back to school, depending on where you live. Up north is a little bit later. Down here, southeast, they're practically, all I'm trying to do is get to the grocery store before 2:00, before the school buses lets out. Driving in my Lord. And so that's about it. But other than that, I'm so happy, and let me know, if there's something, if you have an organization and you are looking for a speaker, or you're looking for a coach yourself. I am doing, I went from 30-minute to the 45-minute complimentary coaching call. I am the no sugarcoating coach. So if you want it sugarcoated, you're in the wrong place. You have the wrong coach. And I do it with love and respect, but I do expect a lot from the person. But the most important thing is, many of us could probably coach ourselves. You just get a little fumbled and you may need help from a coach or a mentor. It's nothing wrong with that at any stage in your life. So I applaud all of you for what you've done tonight. And from all different, places and backgrounds, between New York and Boston area, Southeast Atlanta, we have Miami on tap. We just Tampa Bay, Buccaneers over there. Everybody's in the house. I mean, so that's awesome, awesome, awesome sauce, as Angela with the Miss TJ sauce. If you're interested, make sure you check her out. For ordering that. We had Wanda for the jewelry, and of course Larry with his coaching and resume writing and all of the above. I appreciate all of you for taking the time. Other than that, I'm done. If you guys are, I know you're ready to
Shirley, I put
Yes,
Gene
I'm here.
Hodges' name and phone number out on chat for you.
Okay, excellent. All righty. I'm going to save that chat right now before we come off, and then we'll have it. I appreciate that, Larry, because we can use him as well as yourself and Toye and Dr. Latimer in our class, and maybe others on here as well.
Yeah. And so thank you so much. All
Everybody.
right.
Thank you.
Dr.
Much
Lattimore,
appreciated.
I will be in touch with you. I love you. Thank you so much.
I love you too. And I'll be in touch with you too, because I was just thinking of all the trauma that nurses, and I'm in a nursing group, have gone through the COVID and the pandemic and just the extra work. And they may need some kind of motivational, somebody to speak to them, to motivate them. Most of them are still working, but it's been a tough road. So yeah, we'll talk.
Yes, and I'll make myself available for you, and then I'll send you a big invoice after that. I'm kidding. All right. Thank you, Eric.
Okay, everyone. Good night.
Thank you,
Good
Eric.
night.
Thank you,
everyone.
William. Thank you,
Good evening.
Kelsey. Appreciate you all.
Thank you.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye-bye now.
All right. Bye for now.
Bye.